Alleghany County School Board from the Jackson River District for a term of 4 years beginning July 1, 2019 and ending June 30, 2023. In your packet material, you have information. We had 2 people apply. I think they're both here tonight. Is that correct? Declare the public hearing open. My instructions tell me the next thing to do is ask applicants questions. And what we normally do out of fairness is to ask one of you to leave the room, because a lot of times board members will want to ask the same questions of both, and it's not fair to the person who has enough time to sit there and think. Would y'all decide between yourselves who's going? Okay. Do you want to make your own presentation first before we ask questions?
I can, sure.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you very much. 4 years ago, this board allowed me to become a member of the Alleghany County School Board, and learned a lot over the last 4 years. Learned how good our school system is. I think we've made things better over the time that I've been on the board. I would ask you to reappoint me tonight to that position. I believe there are a lot of things that are undone that I think we need to continue to improve. New Tech is a good example of one of the things we've done at the high school that I feel like I've been on the beginning of that, and I think there are a lot of things that we can continue with there. I've been on committees for the board, salary committees for 2 different years. I was on JRTC board for a couple of years and represented our board there. And I've been willing to always help and ask questions when needed, and really be a good board member for this county. So I would appreciate it if you consider me for that again, and I'll open it up to questions if you have any questions of me.
Any questions from board members?
Should I ask why?
Well, and honestly, why, you look at the group of people that we have here, I've had the opportunity and the privilege to work with them over the last 4 years, and I can't ask for a better group. It's a great school system, and I want to continue to be a part of it. I think there are things that we can continue to do to make that better, but it's, believe it or not, it's been enjoyable for me, and I want to continue that.
Thank
Can
you.
you talk a little bit about maybe your top 2 priorities as being part of the school board? What would you personally like to see as you go forward?
So number one, I think we need to continue to invest in our infrastructure at our schools. That's one thing that I believe that this board has helped with, and our board has continued to do, is we have not let our buildings fall into disrepair. And I think our 5-year plans that I've been able to help and assist with, those have helped us stay ahead of the game on that. If you look at a lot of the school systems around Virginia, they have not invested money, and now they're in a lot of trouble. They're having to do bonds, they're having to borrow money and try to build new schools because they've let things get in disrepair. I think we can continue to maintain what we have and make it better for our students. The second thing that I think we need to do is continue with New Tech. I think it's a great program. I've seen it work firsthand. I have a child in the school system, in the high school. It's been a great thing for her, and I want to continue to see that expand in our system and have the other children that we have benefit from that.
Thank you.
Any other board members, any questions?
I think that was somebody should ask this. Trying to talk to putting the 2 schools together, covering in Alleghany County. What's your feelings on that?
I think it's a good thing. I think it's good timing for us to look at that again. I know a while back we had some issues. We didn't see eye to eye with the other board. I think Mr. Wright on our board has kind of helped bridge that gap a little bit. We've obviously got some money that we can put together and try to make some things happen there, and I think there's an interest now for that to happen. So I'm definitely for it. I was on the committee that helped draft the letter that went out to everyone to try to get together and make that happen, and fully support us in doing that. And Mr. Wright, I appreciate his enthusiasm what he's done so far to make that start to become a reality.
Any other questions? Before we get into open it up to the public, I think what we need to do now is bring the other applicant in and let him get to the same place that you are, correct?
Certainly.
Can somebody, Mr. Shull, I misled you just a little bit. I said we'd take public comment, but what we normally would like for you to do, if you have a presentation on your own that you would like to make first, now's the time to do that.
The only thing I would like to say is, I understand that what I like and experience as far as not being part of a governing body as a school board or anything like that, what have you. I bring a fresh set of eyes, which being an objective person who is, as far as problems would arise, or not just problems, but any situation that would arise, I bring that I would gather as much information as possible on any given situation or problem, and after giving much thought about it, then make a decision, not rush to any judgments on anything, and also speak with other board members, on anything that should arise, instead of just jumping to a conclusion. Just speaking with other board members, other constituents in my district, in the community, and make a decision. That's what I would bring to the board if chosen to be appointed.
Would you entertain questions from board members?
Absolutely.
Any board members have any questions?
I'll ask the same question of you that I asked of your rival, so to speak.
Yes, ma'am.
What would you say your two top priorities are? If you were to serve on the school board, where would your two focusing spots be?
If I had to prioritize two things, I would like to. I understand the Chromebook initiative was implemented a while back, and it was only for the Chromebooks are only allowed to be in take home by, I believe it was 5th graders and up. I would like to actually get that to where at least 3rd graders on up could take their Chromebooks home. I mean, I know that some kids have trouble with reading and math and such things like that. That it would probably be a benefit to them to be able to get the apps on their Chromebook to be able to help them. And some kids can't really afford the Chromebooks or the tablets at home, and that would just be a thing that would actually help them early on in their education, to where it would actually help them as they progress into their education. Another thing is, and I don't hear about it a lot, but I do hear about it, is bullying. Of course, I came through the school system here in Alleghany County, and it's here, and it was here, and to tell a story, and not to drag on, I like to ramble on sometimes. I like to go eat lunch with my kids sometimes when I can, but when I work, I can't do a lot, but I do. And I was sitting there with a child. It was my kid's class. He's about 6 years old, and I was in my the sheriff's office polo and what have you, and he was crying. And I said, "What's wrong?" I'm not going to say his name, but I know him. I said, "What's wrong?" He said, "He punched me in the face." I said, "Well, what did he do that for?" He said, "Well, he picks on me all the time." So I talked to him back and forth, and then I talked to the kid that was sitting right beside him, and I asked him why he punched him in the face, and we kind of talked it out, and Pinky promised that it wouldn't happen anymore. But and I think that was the solution to the problem there, but it lets me know that the problem still goes on with bullying, and I don't have a solution to the problem here to tell you tonight, but I think something needs to be done to promote an anti-bullying in our school system.
Thank you.
Any other board members have any questions?
I'll ask you the same question as I asked the gentleman. What's your thoughts on merging the two school systems?
Consolidation of school systems? Thank you for that question. I put some thought into that. I know we've got a decrease in our enrollment in school. I think this year, it's like almost 100. We've had a decrease in our schools as far as children. Do I think it's a good idea? Yes. However, with that being said, I know it's a hot button issue, but with that being said, both governing bodies are going to have to go to the table as far as have to go to the table with the understanding that we're not going to get everything we want in this deal. And if both governing bodies can't go to the table with that understanding, I'm not up for putting all chips in and say, hey, we're going to give you whatever you want just to make this happen. No, I don't agree with that. But I just think both governing bodies are going to have to go to the table saying, all right, we know we're not going to get everything we want, but something has to be done. Because I just don't, unless we get some industry that's going to come in here to where it's going to bring in more people, their kids go start into our school system, I just don't see it getting any better as far as our enrollment. Does that answer your question? Did I ramble on too much?
I think Mr. Griffith wants to ask a question.
Yes, sir.
Vocational training, adult classes, please down there.
As far as adults doing vocational training?
Adults and increasing vocational training for the regular school system.
Of course, yes. And I don't understand, at some point, a while back, there become this stigma about, pushing if you don't go to college, you're not going to make it in life. Just because you don't go to college, you're going to end up on some kind of government assistance. I don't agree with that. I don't see the problem with people that can be successful. Welders, auto mechanics, food occupations, and different carpentry. They're great. If my son or daughter came to me and said, hey, I want to be a welder, that's great. As long as you're successful and you're happy, outstanding. I agree with it 100%. Anything that we can do to promote vocational or technical training, yes.
Any other questions?